According to the title of this video, hopefully, the title should say something like COM localization. But it's probably a phrase that has never been uttered before. If it has, then whatever the meaning associated with it is, that's not the meaning that I'm referring to, that I'm using it for. First, I've gone here back to the myServe math object project. If you recall, long ago, this here project, test myServe, attempts to create an object of type a COM object of type, I think it's just called my class or something. My interface, math. So an math object which can square, cube, and take the square root of numbers. And how that is defined here in this file. Here's the declaration. It's derived from IUnknown and extends the IUnknown interface with these three functions in this order, as it turns out. And these functions are located in a DLL, which is implemented in this project. Okay. The implementation is here. Here's the square root, here's square, and cube. Alright. Now, I haven't actually registered the object, but it was registered and I've unregistered it. So therefore this project, this first call should fail. I'm running up to here, step over that, and indeed I get an e-fail, so we don't have the server and we're done. Okay, that's the output. Alright, now I'm going to show you what happens if I do the naive thing and try to register that server like this, as I've done here. Here's the DLL, myServe DLL. There's a program in your system32 directory called reg svr32, register server 32, which can register and unregister servers for COM. And if I try to register that server, like this, well, it says succeeded, right? Now the reason it says succeeded is an unknown. It shouldn't really say that because, as you'll see, that does not result in me being able to use this object. I'll run up to here and press F10. I still get e-fail. Same problem. Okay, so that didn't work. The reason that didn't work is because when you register a server, any kind of COM server, they're all servers, the values pertaining to that server are placed in the registry in a special place in here. for the classes, they would go in here somewhere. Now this is a global key, right? And so trying to do that from this box is going to fail because this user doesn't have administrator rights. What is my program that shows my rights? I have a program that shows my rights are logs. PS toke? Oh yeah. Okay. At some point it shows my rights and privileges here. I hardly have any rights and privileges, just these are the ones that I can enable. I can shut down the machine. I can have this change, notify, whatever that is. Undock. I'm not sure what that is, but I assume it has to do with like unmounting a device. Increase whatever. No, there's nothing here to do with what an administrator would get. This is an administrator. I'll show you how many rights and privileges this thing has. See, all that stuff. This one should be able to register that server. So what I'll do, same thing. Okay, now this time it really did succeed. In fact, there's more printout, and I should be able to use my object. I get an OK this time, and I can type in a number, and you didn't see it, but okay. 23. Let's see more lines. This is all I printed from before. Somewhere I will have entered the number. Oh, here it is. I haven't entered the name. Okay. So here, square root is 4, the square is 529, the cube is that, and so on. And I'm using two methods to do that. One, I'm using the COM arrow operator, and here is just a direct function call passing in the pointer to map. In fact, why don't I get rid of those and just make it COM style usage. We use arrows only. Okay, maybe I can get rid of all this debugging stuff. Okay, so instead of using this function call, I can just do this. Oops. Just using COM as normal. So I don't need to know that address. I don't need this. That's, so I'm going by function 2 and so on. I just want to use COM as COM. Without using the direct call. Call and report does. Call the function and print out. Oops. So first I want to say I have an HR. I think this is fair to say. The square root is okay. I should have an else there. And we'll do a second. The square is failed with error. I'll put it in hex for now. There's a way to turn those into strings, apparently. Same thing again. Could be a macro, but this is nice and exposed. Something's wrong because something's wrong above. Syntax highlighting is not working. Seems to sort itself out. How's that? Here I'm just making a double check, even though it's only supposed to be used for debugging purposes. It's only being used for debugging purposes. Okay, that should still compile. I'm not using any macros. Get rid of the macros. Am I using this? No, I'm not using these. Nor am I using that. I think. I'm using that here. Do I need it? Oh, this is in my co-create instance, which should be in a separate file, really. I think it's going to be fine. Missing bracket. True enough. This succeeded thing is not a debug only thing. It takes the expression, debug or not, and checks to see if it's a positive value. Negative values in terms of H result must be signed. I hope it's should be signed anyway. If the result is something where the highest bit, the most significant bit is 1, then we'll end up on this line. So let's just run through it. Should still work. I'm just using COM in the way you normally use COM. Erase. That should not return 0. Let's return 1. 24 is last one. Succeeded. Square root is 0. Square root of 0. I10. Oh. I10 should be assigned value. And do I have to keep refreshing it? Yes. That's the way this is written. I have to keep refreshing it. I shouldn't. I should make a new variable each time. Problem is, it's an in-out pointer, so you have to maintain a second. You need to have a second copy of it if you want to call the different functions with the same value. Alright, this should be good enough for a test. Not the way I would write it. 4. 529. And that number. Well, I don't need to do that over the last bit. Whatever. This should end up deleting the object, which it did. Okay? Now you've seen that before. Alright, now I'm going to unregister the server. Unregister. And run this. Should fail. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is something that nobody ever does, but is within not only within the realm of possibility, but within the realm of factual ability. Register and unregister object. Those are things that set stuff up in the registry. Okay. And %s comes from where? No, let me just. If I want to register an object, given these three things, class ID, lib ID, and the interface ID, CLS ID, this is classes root. Okay, now this class's root, okay, here happens to be it's just a shadow of something under here. Classes maybe? Yeah, see? Star, then .sln and so on. That's the same. In fact, they're one and the same. If I added, suppose I added a key here. Near the top. I want it to show up. Where is it? It's not that close to the top. It should show up. Oh, where did I add it? Doesn't matter. It should show up in here. See? So they're the same. They're the same place. So in fact, this here class's root could be replaced with local machine software classes. Okay? Get rid of this. That would have the effect of getting rid of both. So I could, if I like, if I wanted to, change this to local machine as the root key, but now I need to add software classes. I believe that should be the same. Same. Now I don't know if buffer is big enough anymore. I just need to add constant pointer to constant character to SC. Oh, not pointer, sorry. We don't need the other const. The number of elements in this array is the amount I need to add to this buffer. Let's call this pointer constant characters. Size of, in fact, -1, but doesn't matter, could be a bit bigger. The size of this includes a null terminator. If I add that to the buffer wherever these are declared, buffer, and I should guarantee I have enough space. This is the software this one and this too. There's a reason for this, trust me. I missed all sorts of them. Right? Well, it has to be. Hopefully I didn't miss any. I could have just put another %s, but I want it to be visible. This should amount to the same spot, I hope. And this printout, subkey, that's just being passed in. This one is creating something. HKey classes root slash send buffer path. Why doesn't it say this stir CLS ID? Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's just an informational thing. Buffer. Oh, buffer. Okay, so that includes it, but we don't need this part. That's here in buffer. Just being more explicit. So hopefully it'll be correct. All I have to do to make sure of that is register the server. See where everything went. It should be in the same spot. My server. And then refresh. Found something. Okay, there it is. classes root CLSID, that looks correct. The next one should be MH, if I didn't make a mistake, should be in the shadow. This is the shadow, but in the non-shadow, the actual location under HKey current user. I mean local machine. Well, while that's searching, let's see if our program works. That's a definite way to see if we registered it correctly. That's okay. So it works fine. No crashes. Same numbers as before. Alright? We finally found it. Alright. Now I'm going to see if the unregister works properly. Now how does the unregister work? First this should fail. If it found it, does. But is it using, I gotta make sure. I need to make sure for a definite reason that there's no mention of the shadow. Because I'm going to do the following. Okay. So now I've changed from HKey local machine to HKey current user for the registry location of this class. Now, we're going to recall before that this here failed, right? Well, now it should succeed because the lowly user has access to HKey current user. Did I build this? Yeah. Okay, it claims it was successfully registered. Now let's see if we can use our class. Now, notice here I didn't write my own reg SVR32. I'm using the regular register server program, and but I'm using my own co-create instance, which if I compile that correctly will not search in the global classes root. It'll search under current user, and it failed. Okay. Let's just make sure. Oh yeah. Now that co-create instance is in this project, so we must change this co-create instance to not use HKey local machine. We'll use current user. It should be registered, and I need to modify co-create instance to not use local machine, but to use current user instead. And as you'll see, this will succeed. Okay, succeeded. Now, the rest of this is using standard COM. That succeeds. Succeeds. Square root is 4. Okay, square. It's all working perfectly. Object is deleted, and so on. Now here I have a COM object, right, which in order for its registration would not have required any administrator privileges. Okay, having administrator privileges doesn't only allow you to register objects, but it allows you to do bad things as well. If I wanted to, I could, just completely change the paradigm of COM and COM objects and everything to use current users. If I could replace OLE32 and redirect its registration, right, to not use this key, that one that was there should be gone, but instead to use current user, which there is something here already, it seems. I'm not sure what these are. What is it? CLS? Well, somebody's using this. Current user. My serve. Well, it looks like somebody's come up with this idea already. Now, these may actually just be shadows yet again. Maybe they're empty. They all appear to be empty. These might be here because programs that no, they wouldn't. No, there's a thing that you can set that causes attempts to register or attempts to write to HKey local machine to be redirected to current user. But if that's true, why are these all empty? Well, let's take one example. Whatever. This looks like it's similar to IUnknown, but it's got this extra bit up top. Okay, current user. I bet there's one under local machine. There is. This actually has something in it. You see? Well, if I put these values under current user, then it should work, for my current user. If I only used local registry values. That's what I mean by localizing COM. I could take whatever classes that have been registered, move them under my current user, and they would only be visible to my current user, and I would not require administrative access to install programs that use COM, and everything should still work identically as before, because it doesn't matter where the data comes from. All that matters is that the system is able to access the values and then to do things like load library and whatnot. And so there's no reason why these things have to be global, right? It's convenient because everybody gets this, if I install a component for one user, then happily every other user gets that component. But actually, in truth, I don't really want that behavior. I'd rather that, if I want it for one user, install it for one user. If I want it for all users, then I can run the program as administrator and then install it, right, as administrator. An installed program could then, if it wanted, check to see what kind of access rights it has before installing a component, and if it doesn't have enough access privilege, it could install its DLLs in the user area and install the registry keys under HKey current user, as I've done. Probably the only one out of all the ones, out of all of these, there's probably only one that actually has some data in there. Why these keys are here with nothing in them, I don't know. Where's my search? It's not this. Here. Right? And it works. As you saw, it works. These calls are COM calls. The registration used the regular reg SVR32 without administrator rights, and the COM class work. How to do that, how to enable that feature globally would be to replace OLE 32, which I assume that this program used. No. All this program does is call register server that exists in this DLL. It doesn't access the registry. It shouldn't be required to. Read a file, create a file, convert strings, local alloc, query, open, but there's no create key, right? There's query and open and close. So this program, reg SVR32, doesn't write never writes anything to the registry. It's not importing that function, right? Which is located in this DLL. The rest is nothing. Nothing that can cause any global change to the system. Header contains bound import. Not sure what this means. Something OLE32. I don't know why. Oh. See, it's calling OLE initialize and OLE uninitialize. But in fact, it doesn't need to do that in this case, because this call doesn't require the use of OLE32. I'm sure that we could I could run this under the debugger, and OLE32 might get loaded into memory, but nothing would be called. This is the implementation of register server is exactly this, right? Register object, class ID, and so on. Register object doesn't use any OLE anything. It's just called set in registry under HKey current user this value. Alright, so that's something of interest. Maybe the programmers at Microsoft might take note and save the rest of the world a lot of headache by allowing this option. As you can see, COM works perfectly fine without any use of HKey local machine. See ya.